Could SNAP food benefits be restored soon? Where the federal legal battle stands as millions of people wait for an answer.
If you plan on flying this weekend, might be smart to have a backup plan in place. What we know about flight cancellations amid the government shutdown.
And it's been almost 50 years since the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. We're going to hear from a Coast Guard member who searched for survivors that night.
Thanks for joining us for TV5 Morning Extra, our live stream. I'm Lauren Piesco.
And I'm Christine Winter. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro, your Friday forecast, and it's a wet one.
Yeah, Christine, Lauren, we are tracking some rain as we start off here this Friday morning, so you'll definitely need the rain gear now. You won't need it for the afternoon, though. Conditions actually looking to dry out here completely by about 10 o'clock this morning. So that rain by then will be completely to the east, mostly cloudy into the afternoon, though I will say a few spots to the south. You could see a little bit of sun before the end of the day, but that should more or less be brief, and then clouds eventually take back over again into tonight. So parents, the afternoon bus stops, those will be much drier than this morning, but breezy. I do want to first alert you to some wind gusts back up to about 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Wind gusts not quite as strong as Wednesday, but still certainly a breezy day, especially in comparison to yesterday. And as we go into the weekend, I know we are tracking that chance of both rain and snow. Regardless of what or how much falls this weekend, we're still first alerting you to more substantial cool down by Monday and Tuesday morning next week. Wind chills will be in the teens. We'll take a look at the latest hour by hour for the weekend coming up. But Christine, Lauren, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, we're checking out what's known as the annual Pumpkin Parade at MDOT's garage on M52. And this is in Saginaw County's Thomas Township. The department was showing off its orange plows, making sure the community knows it's prepared to clean up the roads in the season ahead.
We've ran the routes. We've got all our any areas of concerns or anything that we might have concerns with that you wouldn't see if it was covered in snow. We've addressed all those. So now we're just waiting for Mother Nature to do her part so these guys can do theirs.
And just a reminder, under state law, cars need to maintain a distance of 200 feet behind a working plow that's salting, sanding, or plowing, unless you're passing one or stopped at an intersection.
New this morning, the Trump administration appealing a federal judge's decision ordering it to fully fund SNAP food benefits through the end of the month. The ruling was in response to cities and nonprofits pointing out only 65% of the maximum benefit would be offered during the government shutdown. And as a result, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services has directed its own SNAP EBT vendor to issue full benefits as soon as that money comes in.
In Flint, the city is finalizing plans for emergency food vouchers created with the help of the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan. Now, we know that 2 official pickup rounds will be held for people living in the city who qualify. That's November 10th through the 14th and November 17th through the 21st. Vouchers are valid until December 1st. The city says hundreds of people have started the intake process. Vouchers will be sent out once the food bank confirms distribution times. Applications for vouchers are being accepted at Flint City Hall downtown. The first round of voucher pickups starts next week.
Flights across the country are being canceled this morning, including at Detroit Metro Airport. The FAA says the cuts are necessary because the government shutdown is causing air traffic controller shortages. Experts suggest travelers with regional flights consider driving to a different city or buying a backup ticket. Several airlines are also letting passengers change their flights for free. It's also suggested to book with airlines directly right now and avoid layovers if possible.
It means a lot to all this stretch here of businesses and community to have it coming down.
Optimism about the demolition of the blighted Westwood Manor apartments in Flint. The fire-damaged complex on Clio Road was abandoned in 2007, and now the Genesee County Land Bank is spending $760,000 to demolish the 12 buildings on the property.
Another $350,000 is coming from federal funding through the county, and $410,000 coming from the county treasurer's office.
I hope in the future we have, like we used to have years ago, where families could come eat or stores, visit stores. But with things like this, it slows down to be able to do that development. So this is actually a big day.
A big day indeed. And when it's all complete, all the structures, basements, and debris will be cleared out. making way for new opportunity.
Well, the timing of the demolition coincides with the planned opening of the North Flint Food Market just down the street. It's a member-owned cooperative on Clio Road near Pearson Road, 10 years in the making. And the goal here is to provide affordable food with profits invested in the neighborhood. Now, it is set to open on Wednesday after a ribbon cutting at noon.
The Four Lakes Task Force now saying work to rebuild the dams is both on time and within budget. The nonprofit says 3 of the 6 gates were installed at the Sanford Dam, and the last 3 are expected to be in place by the end of this month. Crews will soon begin pouring the auxiliary spillway slabs and walls at the Edenville Dam. The interior of the Smallwood Dam is nearly complete, and concrete work is continuing on the Secord Dam. There will also be an informational virtual meeting December 1st from 5 to 7 p.m. Mark your calendar.
Health Source Saginaw is hosting a job fair later today, and it'll include dozens of prominent employers in the healthcare sector here in mid-Michigan with opportunities for people at all levels. This is happening at Health Source Saginaw on Hospital Road. It runs from 2 to 8 p.m.
Monday will mark 50 years since the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The freighter went down during a severe storm on Lake Superior, killing all 29 crew members on board.
But decades later, it remains a part of Great Lakes history. TV5's Maggie Kostrava had a chance to sit down with someone with a unique perspective of that night. She joins us live now, right now in the studio with a preview.
Lauren, Christine, the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald still echoes across the Great Lakes, a lasting reminder of courage and loss. I got a chance to speak with Tony Hall, who was just 19 years old and aboard the Coast Guard cutter Wood Rush in Duluth when they were called to search for survivors that November night. Now, 50 years later, his mission is to keep the memory alive for younger generations. Hall says the search that night still stays with him, not just for the conditions they face, but for the lives lost beneath Lake Superior. He has since dedicated his time to keeping their memory alive. And for Tony, the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald has never been just about the storm. It's been about the men who faced it. And nearly 50 years later, their bravery and sacrifice still weighs heavy on his heart.
The lives that were lost that night, it's about them. And even though they were in the storm, and they kept going, they had taconite to deliver, and they had a mission. And I just wish things could have been different. That's, we all do.
You can catch more of my sit-down interview with Tony and how he continues honoring the Edmund Fitzgerald legacy Sunday evening right here on TV5. Lauren, Christine, back to you.
And we look forward to that full interview, Maggie.
You are watching TV5 Morning Extra.
Still ahead of Breakfast for Heroes, where local veterans can grab a bite to eat and a free checkup this weekend.
And getting creative with canned goods, how students are making food donations fun.
Miss a story? Catch up on our YouTube channel, and for the latest updates, make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Matthew will have your first alert forecast coming up next after the break.
And as we go into this Friday, we have been waking up to some rainfall, but the rain will be out of here by about 10 o'clock this morning, and that's completely for all of mid-Michigan. So the afternoon today, much drier than this morning. Now, outside of this rainfall here, we are still tracking that weekend forecast. Importantly, the chance of our first snow showers of the season here. So we are tracking some snow showers still likely to pick up tomorrow night going into Sunday morning, and still very possible that we see a fresh coating of snow on cars, patio furniture, decks, pretty much any elevated surface. And I really do want to stress that, elevated surfaces. What is still uncertain, though, and I'd still say more unlikely, is whether or not the snowfall rates can actually overcome some of the warmer ground. So let's take a look at this here. First alert hour by hour. First, still completely dry during the daylight hours on Saturday. We will have a mostly cloudy sky, though. Eventually, our first flurries picking up a little bit before midnight on Saturday night. We'll see this building northward as we go throughout the remainder of our Saturday night and into Sunday morning. So notice this here. Not only do we have a little bit of system snow coming in from the south, but we also have some lake effect adding to this as well. Towards midday on Sunday, the system itself will actually be moving towards the east, so the system snow is starting to leave, but as a result of that, we've actually seen the wind picking up a little bit more, which allows some more lake effect to develop. And I do want to first alert some of our shoreline areas here. You notice a little bit of rain mixing in just due to the relatively warmer waters. Anywhere within about 5 miles or so of the shoreline will likely still see some rain mixing in. But some lake effect will still try to go on into Sunday night, but importantly, right here on the first alert snow predictor, even regardless of what some of the totals are showing here, I want to stress this. If snow can accumulate even on the grass, it should only be able to stick for about an hour or two. So ground temps, even as of this morning, still about 45 to 50 degrees. The ground is still pretty warm. So even here in the snow predictor, although it shows some very minor accumulations, if this can even stick, just know again, it should be more or less a temporary accumulation. Even the grays and the light blues still right at the bottom end of our scale there. So pretty much a dusting, and I would say maybe in the best case scenario, up to about an inch of snow on the grass that again would start to just melt away due to the warmer ground underneath. So still, by any means, not expecting any sort of significant snowfall accumulation. Could even be where you have an inch or two of snow on your patio table, but almost no snow on the grass. First alert 7-day forecast has a high of 37 on Sunday, even 41 tomorrow. Tomorrow should be fairly cool, and 34 on Monday, 39 on Veterans Day on Tuesday. So a cold start to next week. Those temps will then head right back to the 40s by Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, Veterans Day may be next Tuesday, but it's never too early to honor your local veterans. The Saginaw YMCA will be hosting an appreciation breakfast and Veterans Wellness Expo this morning. The free meal from the Pancake Man is all meant to honor local veterans, first responders, and other heroes. It begins at the Y on Fordney Street at 8 a.m., runs till 11.
Local dealerships are honoring area veterans a few days early. Garber dealerships will offer vets and active duty military members a free oil change as a way to say thanks for their service. All Garber service departments will be open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. Appointments are encouraged.
Tomorrow, you can hit the track with the Eric Jones Foundation for the Bird and Rubber 5K at the Owasso Speedway. Proceeds support the foundation's efforts to promote childhood literacy, early cancer detection, and animal welfare. The race begins tomorrow morning at 8. Also a chance to compete along NASCAR star and Byron native Eric Jones. You can sign up for the race by visiting our website. Click on the hot link section on WNEM.com.
Well, check this out. Teams of students, look at that, creating art for the Construction event at the Midland Mall off Eastman Avenue. Their designs using canned goods will be eventually donated to the Midland County Food Assistance Network. Winners will be announced on Sunday. A lot of talent. Those are just so cool. I'm fascinated by them. It's like Legos with cans.
Construction.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
All right, Matthew, looking at rain today.
Yeah, so rainy start to the morning here. Rain should be out by 10 this morning, so the afternoon will be dry, just breezy. Tomorrow, actually a pretty quiet day. We are just tracking a cooler day tomorrow at 41, and then we have the 30s coming in Sunday through Tuesday, and we're still tracking some snow showers. That should pick up tomorrow night going into Sunday morning. And again, the accumulations should be very minor from this. Most accumulations just on elevated surfaces.
All right, Matthew, thank you for those updates. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you back here for TV5 News at 9.